Start.
हाँ सर.
Today we will start with kidney. So today's session will be to glomerular disorders. So this is the first class of glomerular disorders of kidney. Now kidney is about an organ about weight about 100 to 150 milligram. There are two in number. This we know. Do you know how much blood will flow through both kidneys in a day? About 1700 liter. 1700 liter. 1700 kiloliter. And these simple organ of 150 milligram will convert that 1700 liter of blood to 1 to 2 liter of highly concentrated urine. So that is their function. So now what are the functions? What are the functions of kidney? Basically, you can divide into three. Number one, excretion. We all know excretion is the main function. Along with excretion, it will cause reabsorption. It will reabsorb some important substances so that they will be conserved. And number three, along with reabsorption, it will also re-secrete. So re-excretion. So along with excretion, it will reabsorb and also re-excrete. The next group of drug is homeostasis. I have told drug is not the drug. The next duty of kidney is maintaining homeostasis. So how? Water balance, acid-base balance, pH balance, temperature balance, blood pressure balance. Every balance you ask, kidney is the most important organ. And the third one is synthetic. So starting from renin, then also acting over angiotensin, then vitamin D3 metabolites, prostaglandins and erythropoietin. A lot of hormones and active substances are liberated by kidney. So these organs is so much important. And as a result of disease of these organs, there will be so much alteration in all parts of the body. Okay? So now, kidney disorder can be basically occurring in three ways. What are those? So kidney pathology can occur as a result of pre-renal causes, particularly whenever there will be decreased circulation to kidney, as in case of dehydration, shock, cardiac failure, anything else possible. Renal means the basic pathology lies within kidney, and we will discuss about those things with you. And post-renal means there will be any outflow obstruction. There can be any stone, there can be any tumor, there can be a blood clot, which can give rise to obstruction. So these are the renal, pre-renal and post-renal causes. Okay. Now we are concerned about the renal causes. So renal disorders can be divided into four basic groups. One is glomerular, second is tubular, third is interstitial, and fourth is vascular. Now, the glomerular component usually occurs as a result of antigen-antibody reaction, whereas The tubular or interstitial component usually occurs as a result of vascular problem, or as a result of toxins, or as a result of infections. But there will be always overlapping. A vascular disease will affect all the components. And then again a predominantly glomerular disease in the end stage will also affect all the components. But still there is a division, and we will mainly concern now in these next classes to discuss about the glomerular diseases. Okay? Now before going to the glomerular disorder, now we will give definition of some kidney syndromes. Some syndromes related to kidney. Number one, nephrotic syndrome. So this is a syndrome or symptom complex characterized by hyperlipidemia, lipiduria, massive proteinuria, more than 3.5 gram per 24 hours, and so corresponding hypoalbuminemia, and that will give rise to generalized edema, MSR, and with or without hypertension. So this is a commonly asked question in theory, and you have to tell all the components. The next is nephritis. Nephritic syndrome is again a symptom complex characterized by overt or microscopic hematuria with or without presence of RBC cast in the urine, along with mild to moderate albuminuria, evidences of acute renal failure, and hypertension. So there will be hypertension, microscopic or overt hematuria, albuminuria, and evidences of kidney failure. That will give rise to nephritic syndrome. Then acute kidney disorders, which was also called acute renal failure previously. In this case, there will be rapid fall of function of the kidney occurring within hours to days. So as a result of this injury, there will be rapid fall. The opposite thing is the chronic kidney disease, which was previously called as chronic renal failure, now called CKD, chronic kidney disease. In this case, there will be gradual slow fall of renal function of up to total 50% of the function, and this occurs within months or even years. Okay. Then there can be asymptomatic hematuria or asymptomatic proteinuria that can occur with a lot of kidney disorders. And finally, the two terms, one is azotemia and one is uremia. Azotemia is a biochemical condition when in the blood there will be increase in the creatinine, urea and BUN, blood urea nitrogen. Whereas uremia is a clinical condition when along with due to azotemia there will be evidence of organ changes or organ failure. So that is the basic difference between these. So these are the different syndromes that are associated with renal disorders. So now, now we are coming into the kidney disorders in different glomerular diseases. Now, before going into this, the glomerular diseases, we first know that what is the basic structure. The basic structure of the kidney is the nephrons, and in the nephrons there will be a Bowman's capsule. This is Bowman's capsule, and inside that Bowman's capsule there are two layers. The first one is the visceral layer, and the second one is the parietal layer, and in between these two the space. This is urinary cleft. Where lies the glomerular? The glomerular lies within the visceral layer of this Bowman's capsule. So these are nothing but a tuft of capillaries. They are closely opposed with that of the visceral layer, and they are the main unit through which the kidney performs its excretory function. The filtration occurs through these. So let us see slightly in detail. My picture is schematic, and I am also not a good painter, but still try to understand by this picture. Okay. So the main thing is that there will be two types of cells. One is the endothelial cells which lines the glomeruli, and another is the visceral layer of the epithelial cells which lines the Bowman's capsule. And in between these two layers there is presence of a thick glomerular basement membrane. So this is the basement membrane. The central part is thick, which is known as lamina densa, and the two peripheral parts are thinner, which are known as reara interna and reara externa. Reara interna faces the endothelial type, and reara externa faces the epithelial. So this is this side interna and this side externa. So now let us think about the disposition of the cells. Endothelial cells first. So these endothelial cells are just close to the basement membrane, and towards the basement membrane there are large pores, and these pores are about 70 to 100 angstrom in diameter. So these are the pores. So these are the pores of the endothelial cells, and in this way the endothelial cells are disposed. And just opposite side towards the reara externa there is presence of visceral cells. So these visceral epithelial cells, they are also close to the membrane, but they are attached with the membrane with the help of their foot processes. So these are the foot processes, and in between these two foot processes, the area is called filtration slit. So this area is the filtration slit, and that diameter is about 20 to 30 angstrom. Now, the basement membrane is predominantly formed of collagens. There will be also laminin, fibronectin, glycosaminoglycans, etc. But collagen is the main structures, of which each collagen molecule has a non-collagenous domain, which is known as NC1 domain. This NC1 domain is important because we will see that there will be sometimes antibody formation against it. So NC1 domain will be present in the collagens of basement membrane, and these filtration slits are guarded by a typical protein which is known as nephrin. Nephrins. Nephrins. So their pathology also give rise to kidney function abnormalities. So the basic area through which the filtration occurs. So the filtration will start from the endothelial cells. Endothelial cells pores, then the basement membrane, and then the filtration slits. Now there is another type of cells. These are known as mesangial cells. Where they are located? Their function is to hold the endothelial cells. So you see that there is presence of mesangial cells and also mesangial matrix. So these mesangial cells and mesangial matrix will maintain the relative position of the endothelial cells. Okay. Now this is the total unit, and the important thing is that the physiology is that the more will be the diameter of the solute, the less is permeable to the filtration membrane. Okay, so the larger molecules like albumin cannot pass, and secondly, more the cationic charge, more will be the permeability. So the anionic molecules cannot pass, and for that reason, the cationic charge DNA can easily pass, but the anionic charge albumin is retained. So that is the basic physiology of that filtration cell. Okay? Thank you.